Hey, everybody. It is nice to see you. It is time for the Bronx Buzz. This is when we talk to people in the Bronx, try to find out who they are, what they're all about. And we have a real exciting show for you because it's about young people in the Bronx and how they grow and develop and use their talents and their skills. And for the borough of the Bronx, what could be better than that? It is my pleasure. Now we're going to welcome three people. They're sitting in the same room. It is Ricardo Partida. Ricardo is the education manager at the Bronx Documentary Center, and he brought with him Marilyn Leal. Marilyn, nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Okay. Now, don't be shy now. Come on now. You could just spit it right out like I do. And Dulce Ramales Cortes. Dulce, nice to have you with us. Thank you for joining us. Ricardo, let's talk about the Youth Photo League. That's what we're here to talk about. This is a very exciting program. It's a very important program. As I said at the top of the show, we have got to have our young people express themselves, learn about the world around them, and use their art and their talents to express themselves. Did I just answer my own question?
Yeah.
Tell me about the Youth Photo League.
Yeah, so the Youth Photo League is an after-school program that we offer for the community here. In the South Bronx, we run a middle school and a high school program. And what we try to focus on is we try to focus and tell the kids how to use a camera as a storytelling tool. We try to go out into our community to look at stories, to understand the community, and to write. We believe in the power of visual storytelling, and we want the kids to also understand that too, and take that with them wherever they go. We also have a college success program, and one of the things that we try to do is we try to provide the resources available, at our capacity, so that they can go to college, so that they can get a
like that.
Yeah, it's like they
can, what's interesting, and I don't keep track of every little detail of the chronology of things, but I believe that this was started before everybody had one of these. And so that you may have, but now everybody's got one of these things. And in order to, maybe make sense of it, because young people, older people, of course, they go places and let's take a picture. Let's take a selfie. Oh, that's cool. Let me take a picture of that. And to give some educational background about what this is and what it can do, I think is just so important. And I think even more important now than it was when, maybe years ago, before everybody had one of these, that had a camera, a really good camera in many cases, in their pocket. So what do you do to, now do you provide cameras, or do you encourage them to use their cell phones? Let's start there with the equipment, and then we'll talk about how they go about doing what they do and what.
We provide cameras. What we want them to do is to learn photography.
Real photography.
Real photography.
Wow, that's wonderful.
Yeah, they start off with a digital camera, and then later on they understand how to use a film camera as well. We have a full state-of-the-art darkroom, and we still shoot on film. We tell them how to shoot on film and how to understand light, because it's the camera and the picture, it's more than just a pretty picture. It's a story. If you use compositional tools, and if you spend your time with it, it's quite honestly, it's magic, right? Mm-hmm. It's seeing your camera and not like you mentioned the phone, right? As soon as I take my picture, I see a picture immediately on my phone. But here it's if you remove this, if you remove the screen right away, but you already know what the picture is going to look like, it's just magic once you develop it. And that's what we offer here. The program is completely free. We don't ask anything other than, are the kids curious? Do they want to learn how to tell stories? And if so, then this is the place where they can really learn how to do that.
Would you be so kind as to just tell us about your background in photography and what brought you to BDC and the Youth Photo League? I think it would be interesting for people to know, well, here's the guy running the program. What's his passion? What's he about? How did he get here?
Well, to me, my background really wasn't in photography. I was actually about to be a firefighter.
There we go.
So it was something completely different. I found out about the BDC because the BDC did a documentary on essential workers in the South Bronx. And then I realized that here there was there was so much to be said about this area. And I was just very, very curious to learn more about it. And I actually started as an assistant for the education program. And through time, now I run it. But I believe that what the BDC offers is like, it's a mission on the community. It's a mission on how to tell these stories. And I mean, like, where we're at, this is known as the poorest urban congressional district in the United States. That means that the lives of the people here is completely disproportionate for the rest of the country. But these stories sometimes don't get out, and it's our duty to educate the youth into finding these stories and empower them to tell these stories to the best ability that they can.
I've been doing television on BronxNet for decades, and what I heard from you just now is what I hear all the time from people who just are compelled because they look around and they see what's going on and they say, you know what? We can do better. We can use our art. We can use our music. We can use our culture to develop a culture for the Bronx that's better and different. Marilyn, nice to see you with us. Thank you for joining us. We're going to show some of your photos. Tell a little bit about you. You go to school?
Yes.
Feel free. What school is that?
I go to the High School of Fashion Industries in West 23rd Street in Chelsea. And I am an art major in my technological school.
And what's funny? We hear the siren.
Yeah.
It's either coming from your neighborhood or my neighborhood. I don't know who's. I don't know if it's because I got headphones on, so I don't know if it's in my neighborhood or your neighborhood. But what could be more Bronx than that?
Yeah.
But Marilyn, so you went to that school thinking about photography, or did photography come to you a little later than you kind of getting into it?
It kind of came to me as I am an art major. I didn't think like photography was a medium that I was gonna use in my high school, but during my being in junior year, they taught us how to do collages and how to increment photography into our art, and I thought that was like so important.
Now that's interesting. Now, did you do that through the school, or was it through your interaction with the Bronx Documentary Center that interested you in this?
Through
in other words, the notion of photography, was that because the collages you were making in school inspired you, or was it, well, I got in touch with Ricardo and my buddies at the Bronx Documentary Center, and I did it that way?
So I implemented my way that I learned of photography from the Bronx documentary, and I implemented to my schoolwork.
There you go. Now I want to make a big check mark then. One vote for the Bronx Documentary Center. Look at how BDC broadened, Marilyn's vision of herself and her artwork, and of course her neighborhood. Now, so now you shot. We're going to show some photos. You did those photos in black and white. Do you like black and white in general, or did you feel like this theme that you did was more suited for black and white?
I feel that I really enjoy shooting in black and white. Before I came to this program, I only shot in purely digital with digital cameras. But
yeah, with the phone, like that's what I said before, right? Am I right about that? No.
With digital cameras, like Canon cameras with Sony cameras, and like
35 millimeter cameras, those kinds of things. I don't know if they still call them that.
Yeah.
And then I joined the Bronx documentary, and then they taught me how to develop film, how to print in the darkroom. And since then, I didn't know that I was going to create this project until I consulted with Ricardo, and he gave me guidance that this was a really good project and a really good idea for me to do. And like ever since the summer, like I haven't done digital work, and like I felt like black and white photography has become one of my staple photography types that I only do.
This is a very difficult question, and if you don't want to answer it, it's okay. What about black and white communicates for you better than if you shoot in color? Like, what does it do? I will make a suggestion after you answer the question.
I feel like black and white photography really gives you the contrast of an image, but also tells you a story straight to the point. It shows a story through black and white colors, but it could also tell us a story through the details, through the image, and it could like tell you so much about an image through a black and white image. And I feel like the contrast is really what makes an image, and it tells you the essence through the image.
I'm going to add one thing to what you said. I think it makes it iconic. In other words, you take a picture, like if I took a screenshot of what we were doing right now, well, that would be nice. But if it was black and white, it would be like a moment in time that somehow is defined in a certain way that we wanted to archive this. All right. My producer, Anderson, who does such a great job. Are we ready? Let's take a look. And so what is this? We selected, you gave us so many photos. What is this project that you thought required black and white?
This is my story, which is my story of my brother, and I'm telling a story of me trying to understand and comprehend my brother. My brother has autism, and autism is usually a story that is usually never told. It's told, but it's usually not told through a personal lens like mine. And I tried telling a compelling story of my brother and how I'm trying to comprehend, but also understand my brother, like trying to bond with him through my images, and but also trying to help and understand how his mind works. Through my work, I'm trying to tell a story that my brother is just like me, but at the same time, I'm trying to show them that he does normal activities like playing. He does his daily schoolwork. He does everything that everyone does, and he's like such an amazing, sweet human being. So yeah.
Well, I'm going to add one sentence to that, or one qualification. An amazing human being, just like his sister. That brought tears to my eyes. It's just so beautiful that you did that. Did taking these pictures bring you, like, make you feel closer together? Did he see the pictures and at least understand?
He saw the pictures and he really liked them. He has one hanged in his room, which is really nice. And I try like taking pictures of him in his most intimate moments that he lets me into. And when he doesn't, I just back away and make sure that, oh, the sirens. Make
Listen,
sure.
let's hope they're doing a good job to help people in the Bronx.
Yeah.
But listen, this is so it really does bring you closer. Well, you know what you just did, and showing the power of your images. And now everybody in the Bronx knows how wonderful your brother is. What's his name, by the way?
His name is Donovan, and
Okay, you just tell him that all the people of the Bronx really appreciated seeing who he is, and really appreciate his sister for doing this. All right, we've got to take a short break. When we're going to come back, and then we'll bring Dulce in, and she's got another whole concept. And they're not black and white, but she'll explain what she did. It's fascinating stuff. We love the Bronx Documentary Center and the Youth Photo League. That's what it's about. We'll be right back.
19.7% of Bronxites currently experience food insecurity. Meanwhile, instead of these nice, colorful foods, this is the best food that they have access to. If this sounds like you, there are a bunch of resources to get healthy food for free or cheap. If you want to help, you might consider donating or volunteering in one of these places. Community fridges like this one are all over the city, and allow New Yorkers to conveniently donate extra food to people who might need it. Go to this link and find your nearest one. Food banks and pop-up events like these provide millions of healthy meals to families in need. These organizations are distributing meals to Bronxites as we speak, and are always accepting donations and volunteers.
Okay, back with you on the Bronx Buzz. Boy, this is exciting. Nothing more exciting than young Bronx people doing their thing. And we've got two great young people, and Ricardo is a little younger than me anyway. So three great young Bronx people. Ricardo Partida from he's the education manager over at the Bronx Documentary Center. We have talked to Marilyn and Leal about her extraordinary work. Now it is time for Dulce Ramales Cortes. Dulce, nice to see you, and thank you for joining us.
Of course.
Tell us a little bit about you. You go to school. Do you go to the same school that Marilyn does? Different school.
Different school. I go to Christopher Wray New York High School. It's in Manhattan on East 106.
And what characterizes that school? Why did you go from the Bronx to that school?
Well, Christopher Wray, my aunt went there, so she kind of influenced me to go Christopher Wray. I saw the community there. I felt like it was just like the Bronx. It was so strong. Definitely.
There you go. So strong. I like that. And now, had you always been interested in photography? Do you do photography in school or art? Or this is really another aspect of your life that's different from what you normally do?
So since I was little, I always knew I wanted to do something in the arts. And then I kind of grew up and I realized I wanted to become a journalist. And then there was this one day where I had a soccer game, and one of the coach's sisters, she had gave me the camera, and I started like just snapping pictures, mostly of the ball in the air. And right after that, the owner of the camera, she looked through the photos, Adriana, also a Bronx documentary student here. She looked through the photos and she was like, you took these photos? And I was like, yeah, I took those photos, but I didn't see like anything special in them. But they saw an eye in me. They saw that like I took good photos, and then they started saying how they were in this program. And I found it really fascinating because they told me that it wasn't only just for photography, but it was also for teaching, just like the way of becoming a journalist. So that really fascinated me. And then they gave me Ricardo's phone number.
And now you're on TV.
And now
So we're going to show some of the photos, and then we're going to show a little video. This is an interesting, it was somewhat eye-opening to me, frankly. Why don't you tell us what the topic is and why you chose to do a photojournalistic essay about this topic?
So the topic right now that we're currently working on is the vaping project. We chose that one as a group because we saw that it's normalized now, that every day someone is always vaping. We noticed that a lot of teens die because of vaping. We noticed that even just walking through the street, walking outside, every teen, every person is vaping. There's a lot of influence into it. We wanted to show basically that teen vaping isn't okay, that it shouldn't be influenced. And so we gathered a bunch of pictures. We wrote about vaping, and currently we're finalizing everything. So we saw it as basically something that was very important to us as teens too, because we want to be healthy. We want others to be healthy.
You know what's interesting to me, and these photos. Look at this. The detail on these photos is just extraordinary. We and I say we meaning adults, a lot of times are divorced from what kids are doing. And if you want to find out, frankly, what's really going on in our communities, then you better talk to the young people, because they got worlds that we're not tuned into. I was not aware that vaping is as big as it is in schools until I saw your photos and got into what this was about. Did you have reactions from the people that you took pictures of? Did you have to like, hey, can I take a picture of, and really get into it? Or did it kind of come somewhat easily to you?
So it came easily for me just because I'm in the Bronx again. Multiple people vape, smoke. So I kind of just asked around, and mostly my cousin's family members. And then she said that none of them vape, and so I asked if her boyfriend did, and she said yes. And so it kind of came naturally, where I was like cool with it because it was normalized basically. And that's when I realized this is a big thing, because someone just vaped in front of me and I didn't react. It was
because it was so normal and so common.
yeah.
Wow. And so again, I'm going to ask it because I'd never really heard this from high school students before. Kids are really doing this a lot, like it's a cool thing
Yeah.
out there. Which, wow. Now, what's the ultimate? Now we're going to show a little video in a minute, but what is the ultimate goal for you? You said to help young people understand that this is probably not a good idea. I mean, they think I mean, it's out there that it is different from smoking cigarettes, which has been quite confirmed that it's not a very healthy thing to do. And do you think that young people think that it's okay because it's different and it goes through a device, and that somehow they're somehow prevented from getting ill as a result?
Yeah.
They do.
Even
They-
if they know that it could harm them, they don't care much.
Well, I don't want to get into the psychology of, why people smoke cigarettes or whatever else, but I think that is, there is something in the human behavior consciousness or something that does that. All right, Anderson, are we ready to cue up this video? I thought this video was really, really interesting, and of course utilizes Dulce's photos and others who are involved in this project very, very well. So let's take a look.
Do you believe that there's a vaping culture within the school?
I believe there's a vaping culture within the school, yes.
Why?
Because people got easy access to vaping nowadays.
What got you into smoking?
My mother has smoked my whole entire life, and sharing a room with her and her like smoking like 2 packs a day in like my room kind of just like got me open to the fact that what it was and what it is. So it kind of just got me into smoking.
Okay.
The reason why I started vaping was because I was in 7th grade and one of my friends asked me if I ever vaped before, and I said no, and they asked me if I wanted to try it, and because of curiosity I said yes. I tried. That was the first time I ever tried it, and then afterwards I kind of like, it felt like satisfying just inhaling the air, and that's when I started getting addicted to like vaping.
There you go. I'm going to give it applause. Thank you so much. I guess, Dulce, for you who wants to be a storyteller in that way, putting it in a video helps to tell the story. When you think now that you've been educated about photos, when you think about being a journalist, do you think about being a photojournalist, or do you think about putting videos together or taking a picture and then writing, stories about it? I mean, how do you view what you'd like to do in journalism and the use of the photos?
I really love to write about photos.
You like to write about?
Yeah.
I have to ask this, and maybe I don't know if Ricardo's involved. That first image of the smoke blowing, who shot that? That is a really well done image. So
yeah. So it was
the opening shot on that video.
Yeah. Oh, the opening shot. Yeah, it's one of the students. So like this is like a group project that Dulce's class, the HS1 class, is working on. So like they've been working on an investigative project for about 7-8 months.
Yeah.
Just understanding this. Like one of the things that we try to do here at the BDC is like we try to teach them all aspects of journalism, not necessarily just photos. We also teach them video. We also teach them about writing, and we teach them of how to spot misinformation. Like the big deal of this is that through images, we're able to tell these stories and the complexities that happen around this area, and also in teenagers. Like one of the things that we really pride ourselves is that here at the BDC, you're going to create a story with an impact. And we don't put the stories, the teachers don't tell the stories that the kids have to work on. They come up with those stories themselves. And what we try to do is that as an after school program, we try to understand it and see it as a game, really. How do you tell a story done correctly? How do you spot misinformation? And how do you understand facts? At the end of it, that's what we're here to do.
It's just wonderful. And using what we just saw as an example of, or an illustration, bad pun, an illustration of what you talked about. Look at what we on this program just learned. Marilyn talked about autism, having a brother who she loves and thinks is a wonderful person, and we learned about aspects of his life and his relationship with his sister and her relationship with him. And then I learned a whole thing about young people, about teenagers in my home borough who, are doing something that is probably not the best thing they ever did. And so listen, we're almost out of time. Dulce, Ramales, Cortes, thank you so much for your work. Keep going, keep doing it. Tell the stories. Believe me, I know a little bit about that because I'm part of telling stories all the time. And Marilyn, thank you very much. Love to your family, love to your brother. Tell him Gary said he's a really cool kid and give him a big hug for me. And Ricardo, what are the final words? You want to tell people how to get in touch with you and be part of this effort?
Absolutely. I would say I would encourage everyone to come visit us. We're always open. This is a space where, we want the community to know about all the resources that we provide. We provide free education for the youth, for middle school and high school. All you have to do is sign up and be curious. We want, curious people that want to learn more about storytelling, and that's what we're here to do. And also, if you're an adult, we also have classes in Espanol because we have a big Spanish-speaking community here in the Bronx, and this is a place for the community,
for everybody. Shout out the address so people can walk by. I've been there 100 times, but I don't know the exact address.
Yeah, so our main gallery is on 614 Cortland Ave, here in the South Bronx, and then we have our annex at 364 East 151st Street,
down the block. I will tell what I didn't say earlier. They told me all the books behind them, these are all photo books that they use to tell the stories.
Yeah, absolutely. This is our photo book library. So we have like one of the largest photo book libraries here.
Wow.
So as you can see, and this is not just like a background. These are actual real books.
This is real books.
Like
unlike the virtual background I got. Yeah. Listen, we got to go. Marilyn, Dulce, Ricardo, thank you for being the absolute best of the Bronx. The people at BronxNet love what you do. I love what you do. And we appreciate your time on the Bronx Buzz.
Thank you, Gary. All right.
Thank you all. See ya. Okay, that will do it, folks. If the curtain don't fall and the creek don't rise, we'll do more next week. Good night.